Welcome back to the next video in the series on Industrial Agile. And today, in a bit of an unusual outfit, I found a really old t-shirt from probably early 2000s, Control L Chaos, printed as a bit of a smile toward Ken Swaber's website controlchaos.com. And it fits in the series talking about complexity, talking about Agile and Scrum, because Scrum keeps you out of that chaos state of a system. This is, as explained in the previous video, the place where you're in a panic. The team is in a chicken with no head mode, as I, excuse the language, as I called it. Don't want to be here. This does not deliver productivity. It might have a reason to go there every now and then, we'll come to that, but not, you don't want to stay here. Where you might want to be is in that complex environment where you're finding new products, new states of the system, new boundaries, new rules as a way to work into complicated and obvious. That's where Scrum Agile sits. Think about it, either because you watched my video or because you read up or know Scrum. Scrum iterates. Scrum has a 2-week cycle with sprint planning in which a goal for the next 2 weeks is set. That goal will need to be reached by doing a number of things, delivering some things, and in the sprint that delivery happens, and then review, retrospective, the result is inspected. Hey, that is a really nice example of what you do in a complex state of a system. There are no rules to follow, there are no known ways out, so you run lots of parallel experiments. You measure the result of that experiment and then decide, am I going forward with it? Is it looking promising? Or let's stop it, let's roll it back, it doesn't work. That's complexity, and it will bring you into that complicated, obvious state where you finally want to be. The previous video talked about a holistic video camera. You'll have to run lots of experiments before you get to a state where you say, okay, now I know what we're doing. It will still take a lot of effort from scientists and engineers and manufacturing specialists. It's still very complicated, but I'm out of my discovery state, I'm in a complicated state. An interesting thing about Scrum is that also in a complicated state you can keep going with it. You can keep, although you know what the boundaries are, you know what you have to develop, what nuts you have to crack, you keep going with it, and it becomes more a controllable state. You can see where Scrum steps outside of the boundaries, outside of the rules, and you might have to decide to go back and figure out some more things. But that is where Scrum is operating, where Agile is operating. As long as you're really discovering, you're sitting in that complex state, don't treat Scrum as if it is obvious. It isn't obvious. We do not know that following this step and that step and that step, that there will be a good result. Don't expect that Scrum will give a good result always. A good result out of Scrum is a failed project. As long as you fail fast, Scrum is utterly successful. Don't treat it as if it is plannable or predictable. You run multiple parallel experiments and some will fail and some will succeed, but you don't know when you will have enough success to go into more of a controlled and finally in an obvious state. So don't treat Scrum as if it is predictable, as if it is in an obvious state. It sits in complex and it can be used in a complicated environment. So, controlling the chaos, as Ken already saw and predicted and how we worked, it's still applicable, and here's a way of looking at it and to get some more scientific background to it. And thank you very much.